It has long been a shameful secret inside the U.S. military, the widespread epidemic of rape and sexual assault, where our country's defenders find themselves defenseless and often without a way to seek justice. Now, many of them are telling their stories in a powerful and moving Oscar-nominated documentary. Women have reached some of the highest echelons in the military. They are fighter pilots, sit at the controls of Marine One, have earned silver stars for courage under fire, as well as a general's 4 stars. While they may be succeeding on the front lines, there is an invisible battle that is taking its toll. Listen to these women.
Everything changed the day that I was raped.
He hit me in the head and knocked me out.
I remember holding the closet thinking, what just happened?
Their stories are at the heart of the Oscar-nominated documentary, The Invisible War.
If this is happening to me, surely I'm not the only one.
A film that shines a light on a hidden epidemic. According to the Department of Veterans Affairs, some 30% of women in the military have been raped or sexually assaulted while serving their country.
I was just astounded by the statistics. I mean, 19,000 men and women are being sexually assaulted each year in the U.S. military.
The film unveils not just the high prevalence of attacks, but also focuses on the military's response.
You keep hearing the same stories again and again. I mean, 3 times we heard a story about a woman who was single. She was raped by a married man, yet she was charged or threatened to be charged with adultery.
Jessica Hinvez is one of the survivors whose story is highlighted in the film.
The military was something I always wanted to do. I come from a military family. I wanted to go ahead and join and start a career.
So did you enlist?
I did. Yes, ma'am.
Tell me what you did.
I was a crew chief on an F-15. I was responsible for the whole aircraft, top to bottom. I look forward to retiring in the military. Unfortunately, I was medically retired from PTSD from being raped.
Tell me what happens.
I went to go to sleep, and this guy was in an adjoining room. He broke in through my bathroom and raped me. Walked back out through the adjoining room, grabbed his book bag, didn't say anything to anybody, and left.
Her alleged attacker told authorities he stopped when she said no. But while Jessica was transferred to another base, the man she accused of raping her was given a commendation for his work. Ultimately, the military command weighed in and dismissed the case.
I felt like this is a threat to justice, and this is so wrong.
In fact, only 8% of assault cases go to trial.
It's fully controlled by the chain of command. It's not an impartial judicial system the way we expect as Americans.
Susan Burke represents Jessica and dozens of other servicemen and women in a lawsuit against the military.
So from my perspective, what we have is the very people who are the bravest among us, the most willing to get out there and, sacrifice to defend the nation. They don't enjoy the same justice that we as Americans take for granted.
And it's not just that your predator is not going to be punished. The chances are you will be.
Yes, you lose your career. Every survivor who had the courage to report, all of them drummed out of the service.
The case was recently dismissed.
They said rape is a hazard to military service, and I can't believe this is reality. It's unnerving at best.
That rape is a hazard of military service?
Yes, if the activity is, the buzz phrase is incident to service. So if it's an occupational hazard.
More women are raped than are injured in combat even.
And it is important to emphasize, lest someone hear you say that and say, well, proof that women shouldn't be in the military, more men are actually raped than women.
Yeah.
More men are raped than women in the military.
The military reaction to the film? Far from criticizing it, the military has been using the film in its sexual assault training program.
We estimate that in 2012 alone, 10% of the military saw the film, 235,000 men and women. So we hope that changes culture. But again, the most important change has to come at the top.
And that may be happening. Within days of screening the film, Secretary of Defense Leon Panetta called for change.
Sexual assault has no place in the military. It is a violation of everything that the U.S. military stands for.
But Jessica Hinvez and Susan Burke say relying on the military to correct the problem is naive.
Congress needs to act to change the law.
If Congress doesn't step forward and fix it, we've made our troops second-class citizens in our own nation.
Can we fix it?
They have a power to eradicate rape and eradicate sexual assault. It's doable. It just needs to be done.
It doesn't have to take another 20 years or even a year or two. This can be done immediately and effectively.
Zero tolerance. There's no excuse.
Zero tolerance.
There's no excuse.